Hi guys, and welcome to the guide. In this episode we're talking about how to survive boss battles in Dark Souls 3 without breaking any controllers. So, the most important thing you could probably do is make sure you're a high enough level to compete with that boss. And if you don't think you are a high enough level, then go watch my leveling up video, which hopefully is in the thumbnail section off to the right over there. Nothing quite like some shameless self-promotion. Alright, but if you think you're still a high enough level, but you're still having trouble with that same boss, then you can always put down a white soapstone in the area of the boss that you're having trouble with, and you can go into somebody else's world and then help them out with the same boss. It's just in their world. And it kind of gives you like a dry run from the boss, but then that way, if you die and you lose, you're not risking any souls that you might have hard-earned collected. And there's very few things more infuriating in this game than running into a boss battle accidentally with like a boatload of souls in your pocket that you really wanted to go use to level up, but you kind of just ran into that boss battle without meaning to, which does happen, and of course you died, and now you gotta figure out a way to get in there, defeat the boss, and get those souls, because you're kind of in limbo now, and it happens. So going in and helping out other people take out that same boss is a good way to figure out how to fight that boss without risking any of your own hard-earned souls. And also, helping people out with their boss battles is a great way to farm souls and gain XP pretty quickly in this game. And I've done that a lot. I've used that trick a lot in past Dark Souls games, where I just sat there and helped people take bosses out just to level up fast. And it works good too, so that's a good tactic. Alright, so there's some movie magic there for you. Yeah, the boss that I was going in there to help those guys out with, I didn't want to put in this video. Because, A, my character wasn't a high enough level to tango with that guy as of the making of this video. Like, every time I went in there to help somebody out, and it wasn't even in my own game, it was to help somebody else out, like, the party would just get destroyed. So it was like a really hard boss that you need to level up for. So instead I chose to do this guy, which I don't think any Dark Souls fans would be too mad at me showing off in this how-to guide, because he's a pretty early boss. I mean, I think he was like, what, 10 hours into the game whenever I finally ran into him, maybe? So he's a pretty early boss, and he's a pretty cool boss too, and he's not like a crazy hard boss, because I actually was able to beat him by myself, so kind of makes me feel kind of warm and fuzzy inside, because I took him out by myself. I didn't need nobody's help. Alright, so back to the actual how to take bosses out, you know, the real reason you're here. So when you're in a boss battle, or just whenever you're fighting an enemy in general in the Dark Souls series, watch for patterns, watch for like their combos of attacks, because every boss and every enemy in the Dark Souls series has like a set pattern of attacks that they have and they go through, and you can trigger them by doing certain things. Like certain bosses, if you keep your distance, they'll jump up into the air and then like do a stabbing motion down, and then you can run up and hit them a couple of times. And then other bosses you have to stay really close to and keep your shield up and like wait for your opening. So it's just watching for the patterns and watching for openings is a very important part of this game. Because the Dark Souls series in general, it's like an old school original Nintendo game, or like a Super Nintendo game. Like a game from that era, if it was made now in modern day standards, that's like Dark Souls. That's really what Dark Souls is, if you ask me. It's like an old school game that's made now, because it doesn't hold your hand and it pretty much lets you figure everything out for yourself. But once you figure out what you're supposed to be doing, then it's really not that hard of a game. I mean, honestly, it's not. Once you figure out how to play this game and you make sense of all the chaos that you initially see playing this game, then you figure out that it's really not that difficult of a game. It's just, it has an extremely steep learning curve, but once you figure out that learning curve, it's not so bad. But yeah, that is my guide to boss battles and enemies in general in the Dark Souls series. Thanks for watching.